So, welcome back to Dialogue Sweetlick Tactics. In today's Eternal Evolution video, we're going to be doing a character deep dive on Bot Mark 2. I tend to stumble on that one. Bot Mark. Fun to say. So, Bot Mark 2 is a hunter. I think he's in the Terran class. He's another character that you're probably going to pick up on your way early on in the game, and he is very, very viable throughout the game, even to end game. I'm seeing people with end game rosters that still use Botmark just because his kit is so good. So he is very much, he's in the same class. He's a hunter, so he's the same as Taylor and Emma. I would say of the three, Emma, then Taylor, then Botmark. But Botmark brings other things to the field that make him valuable, which we're going to discuss in this video. So let's roll over to the footage on my pay-to-win account where he is immortal.
Botmart, more Botmart. It's just fun to say Botmart. Anyways, let's go. Okie dokie. So let's look at his skills first. As always, the user. Okay. Botmart shoots 7 rounds in selected directions for 2 seconds, each inflicting 110% of attack of damage. So his attack of damage, so mine's 36, so a little over, 40k of damage. Rounds cannot penetrate enemies. I don't know what that means. I don't know if penetrate means crit damage. What does penetrate means? Well, I know what it means. Well, what does it mean in this regard? While shooting, so while he's doing his ultimate, he's unable to move, so he clamps himself down and then does his ultimate. But he's immune to control effects. You can't stun him in his ultimate. If there's no enemy on the selected shooting path, he'll automatically target other enemies, which is kind of redundant, but all right. So, and then that damage percentage, or that attack percentage number, just goes up with the level breaks. If the defense of the target is reduced, the damage inflicted by each round is increased to 30%. So that's very important. So someone like Artis, I do believe Crete as well, applies defense down. So if that defense down is on, he's going to do more damage. Keep that in mind, which tank you pair him with. Skill number 1, shoots a flame laser, dealing 255% attack damage to the enemy and 150 enemies along the path. So it's kind of, it's a line of sight. It's an AoE, but only in a narrow band, a line. The talent modifier reads enemies damaged by the flame laser have their defense reduced by 16% for 6 seconds. So he as well will reduce the defense. I'm assuming this effect is going to go out before his ultimate. So really, do you need an artist? I guess just to make sure it's up, but he will apply his own defense reduction. Third skill, or second skill after ultimate. When Botmark lands a crit strike, he has a 60% chance to decrease the enemy's defense by 4% for 6 seconds, and then this effect can stack up to 8 times, reducing the target's defense by up to 32%. So 4 times 8. I guess. And then the chance of that defense reduction is increased with his level breaks. But the talent modifier says when the target's defense is reduced, each of the 6 times they take damage from Spider Artillery. I'm assuming that means his ultimate, right? Doesn't his ultimate do 6 times? No, 7 times. So I don't understand the 6 times. Yeah, don't get it. So when the target defense is reduced, each of the 6 times they take damage from Spider Artillery, an additional stack is added. So that defense reduction just constantly gets refreshed. So he's constantly landing defense reduction. So he's a good person to have on your team, I'm guessing, because he will constantly keep the boss that you're fighting against in a very significant reduced defense state, allowing all your other attackers to go wild. It's passive. Spider Artillery. Botmark. His fire control radar Locks onto an enemy whose defense is decreased. So basically then he's just going to hone in on that whoever has that massive significant defense decrease. The closest one is locked onto first. The damage dealt with locked enemies is increased by 15% of his attack. So all of his skills are based on attack, but he's got a high emphasis on crits. You really want to make sure you keep that boss. So you want him to do damage, but you also want to keep that boss debuffed the whole time. When the radar is active, Spider Artillery attacks locked enemies first, regardless of the skill's range. And then the amount of damage increase, the damage dealt, the damage increase goes up with the level breaks. The talent effect, which I'm not sure I need, when attacking the targets locked by the fire control radar, you get an additional 5% crit rate. Not that that's going to make any real difference, but note where your crit rate is and then decide whether or not you need to spend on that talent. Because let's go look at the talents right now, and it's this one right here. So when attacking the targets locked by fire control radar, gain an additional 5% crit rate. It's 240 soul potions. It's the expensive one, but you do need that one to bump up into the big attack percentage sub talents. So I recommend all these other ones. These modifier talents, these blue ones, after the automatic skill makes a crit hit, the damage the next basic attack is increased. So more emphasis on crit hits. And then this one, when continue to attack, I'm assuming that means when bot mark continues to attack the same targets, the damage done to this enemy gradually increases up to 5%. So you definitely want all of those. I only put one into each of these attack sub-talents. Again, because I've said in other videos, this soul potions are really, really expensive. They're hard to come by, especially if you're free to play. So be very, very choosy. I only really max out stuff on SSS characters. Otherwise, for elite characters, I just do the one just so that I can put points into the talent. But again, this one, don't know if I need it because you can get crit rate from gear. So I don't know, and gear is kind of plentiful. So you really, it's up to you, but I say no, don't do that. So now let's look at his gear. Since, now Bot Mark is an attacker, so part of me wants to load him up with crit damage and crit rate and attack, but he does have that super emphasis on crit rate is important. It is the driver of his whole kit. So you do want higher crit rate. Now I've only got 75%, which is usually 15 to 10% higher than normally recommended. I can get it up to 80 if I do the talent, but I don't want to spend it on it. So I'm going to leave him here like this, and this is where I recommend you putting him. And then of course you want to get more crit damage from sub-talents where you can. Possibly I might want to consider switching out these attack sets, or this attack set, for a crit damage set, as long as I can maintain the crit rate. I get 2% or 2.5% more crit rate there, but maybe I can find a crit damage piece with attack crit rate, crit damage, right? Because the extra defense, the resist, and the HP isn't really helping me there. And this one too, it's just got defensive stats. So definitely put them with 2 sets of the Sun Signet crit chance set. Look for crit rate and crit damage secondaries and attack secondaries as well. Like this piece is I like it. It's got 13% attack. That's beefy. And then some crit rate. This one's got attack. I could look for some crit rate there. I don't have any Sun Signet or I don't have any other attack primary hero or Sun Signet or overload sets, so I am fishing for that one to up his attack even more. This one's got some crit damage, right? But just try to maximize for crit. I'd say 75 is a good starting point. Then focus on crit damage and attack. And that's pretty much how you want to gear him. Now his exclusive, let's look at it. Another place you can get crit rate. And yeah, this one's really, really good. Damage application crit rate. The crit rate on the exclusive is really nice. And by unlocking it, what you get is when Bot Mart lands a critical strike, it gains 13% attack for 6 seconds. So again, the heavy emphasis on crit chance. You really, really want to do that because it's just going to super boost his attack. If the crit rate of the Spider Artillery is higher than the target, they gain another 4% attack as damage. Again, why? I guess that answers my own question. Why you want such a high crit rate? Because you want his crit rate to be higher than your opponent. So if you're using him in PvP, say PvP, then if most people are gearing their attackers at 65%, you want to be higher than that. So that's why I recommend a little bit more crit rate on Bot Mark. And then the 10 and the 20, attack is increased to 18%. You know, so just it goes up by 5% more, a little bit more. Take them up to 10. I wouldn't take them up any higher, but focus on your SSS characters first, of course. And that is the Bot Mark. So where is Bot Mark useful? Well, he is very, very useful in the Atlas Whale in Guild Hunt. Very, very useful there, because this boss, you want to use your multi-hit characters. If we look at some of the higher damages, let's see, like guaranteed they're all gonna have Emma, but let's see. There you go. There's Bot Mart with Emma and Sorietta. 485 million. Wow. And look, there is Bot Mart. But of course, Taylor, Sorietta, Emma, those are all the multi-hit characters. And then he's running Rez to supercharge his Emma, of course. Very, very good. So he's very, very good in the Atlas Whale. He is also very, very good in the Altar. In the last boss. Let's see, do I got him in there? I do. So he's very, very good to use on this boss in Altar. And as well, you could probably use him all day, every day in Disa Caves. So Bot Mark is an excellent character. You should definitely build him up. You should definitely go for him. And let's just show you a run through Disa 15 and show you how I go about it. So I got Bot Mark in the back because then he gets the attack buff from Mazarani. He doesn't get anything from my commander. He doesn't get his shield. He doesn't have a displacement skill, but this one is set up where it's going to give my back row characters 5% attack. I kind of want to move my Bailey into the place of Randall since I got my Bailey up today, but this is a Bot Mark video, not a Bailey video. So let's show you how I do, or how he does in Disa 15. So as you know, if you've watched anybody's videos, Disa 15, you want to take your Taylor off of auto. Now, you're going to do a little hop with Taylor. Of course, he's not going to get where he has to be in one hop, but he will on the second hop. There goes Bot Mark laying in to him, laying into the boss. All right, so now here we want to position Taylor where he's got to be. He's got to be right behind these bones. So now I can put it on auto. So now let's watch the damage meter. So Bot Mark is nice and close to Mazarani because he's going to stay nice and healthy. You know, he's going to get a nice little shield since he was in the back row. So I'm not focusing on any damage reduction or HP or anything on the bottom gear pieces. I'm going straight crit rate on the hands and then attack on the head and attack on the boots. You know, right there you see Bot Mark. He did get low. His health is down there. But specifically with my Mazarani, he's going to be nice and healed. See, there he goes. He's going to get the big old heal from Mazarani. And he's going to get the chain heal as well. So to do this, keep in mind, you're going to have your characters up there in evolutions. Otherwise, you know, and good healers. Otherwise, your Bot Mark's probably just going to die. But so Taylor, he can't keep up with Taylor. Taylor is just an absolute monster. But also keep in mind that Bot Mart is helping Taylor. He's lowering the defense of the boss and allowing Taylor to put up these huge numbers. So Bot Mark is not only an attacker, he's a great facilitator of your other attackers. And he's beating Randall, and I would arguably say that Randall is better geared than Bot Mark, and Randall has 2 evolutions. He's at Immortal +2, whereas Bot Mark's just Immortal 0, which further highlights how good Bot Mart is. Although Bot Mart was kind of specifically tailor-made for this game mode, this instance, but it is telling to see how he can outshine my assassin, who is also gaining. My assassin Randall's also, since I don't have Pain Rune on here, so never mind, no Pain Rune, so he's not getting that attack. Oof. You know, he's doing about 50% of Taylor's damage, but you can clearly see how good he is. So that's pretty much it, guys. We're gonna beat this. I'm not even gonna worry about it, but that's pretty much it. Go get him, gear him up, follow the guide. He's great. You'll use him everywhere, even at mid to late game. Don't call myself end game yet, although I could call myself end game because I am beating level 15 in the instances. So yeah, okay, close to end game. And hell mode, I guess. I haven't beaten hell mode in Ultra though. I'm gonna do that, but definitely not soon. So go get him. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Peace, everybody. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.